All right, guys, welcome back to the Rich Shiels Golf Show podcast, episode 252. It's a very exciting day. We're here on location in a random barn in the Wirral, just 10 minutes away from Calder Golf Club, and we're here with Guy, co-host. How are you, pal?
Chilled, very relaxed. So it's just a lovely day. The sun's out. I've got a bit of sun cream on, and life couldn't be much better. And I just feel almost borderline too relaxed. How do you feel, Rick?
Can I borrow some of that feeling? Today, if you aren't aware, I am doing open qualifying. In fact, I'm teeing off in just under 3 hours' time. I'm kind of... My emotions at the moment are kind of doing a little bit of this. Like when I actually really think about it, I start to, oh God, my heart starts to pound. I start to get a bit worried. And then when I take my mind off it, I'm like, oh yeah, I get back to where you are. It's a lovely day in the sun and it's going to be a wonderful day. I am nervous. I am excited. And I'm just hoping that I can perform to the level that I know I can perform at.
There's a couple of things you've done so far today, or maybe they were yesterday actually, that have concerned me though.
I've cleaned my clubs.
Clubs are clean as a whistle. Shoes are clean. You got little bags of nuts and stuff because you've been told by James Robinson you need to eat and drink throughout the golf course.
It is true that.
Yeah, I get it all. Like on paper, you've done all the right things, but you are very much the guy that enjoys playing golf with dirty clubs, last minute to the tee. So you're going very much down a different route today. Is it going to pay off?
Well, my other route obviously doesn't work. So
correct.
You know what? I came down to Calder yesterday and played a practice round, and it's a golf course that is very scoreable. And I hit it really, really, really well off the tee yesterday.
Did you keep a score, or was it like throwing balls down?
I didn't. I wanted to. I actually ended up playing with Reese Nevin, and for guys who are fans of the main channel, we actually had Reese on a video where he's a aspiring tour professional, and for every birdie he made, was it £100 cash he won?
Was it £100? Yeah. I think it was.
We actually did it at his home course, Sandyway, and actually, coincidentally, I ended up playing a practice round with him yesterday. About 9 holes in, I said to him, "Do you want a little match?" Because I don't massively like practice rounds. Like, it's not something I normally do. There was 4 of us out there, kind of just knocking it about, and then once you finish a hole, you throw a few balls down and guess where the pin's going to be.
Do you think people actually know what they're doing, or it's just that, that's what tour pros do and you feel like you should be doing it?
I was literally looking at these 3 other guys and going, what do I do? Like, literally, it's so bizarre. Once you finish the hole in this, and there was no one behind us, we were the final group, which didn't help because we had all the time in the world. And like, you throw a few balls down, you play a few chips, you play a few bunker shots. For me, I was kind of whipping my course planner out.
I'm glad that's what you went with then.
And just making like a few little notes, like just don't go here, don't go there.
I just imagine that you weren't really doing anything. You were just pretending, just drawing Superman S's, so it looks like you were busy. Rick was here.
Like noughts and grasses with myself. Yeah, but it's really interesting when like you've got guys who are trying to get, and like we played this American guy, and he was like, the pin will definitely be here tomorrow. And I'm thinking, nobody knows. And everyone starts to chip that shot, that pin. I'm thinking, nobody knows where the pin's going to be tomorrow. It's like, it's in the lap of the R&A.
And I think that's the thing, obviously for these guys who are seriously good golfers who are looking to genuinely try and qualify, they have to take it super seriously. Of course they do. But it feels like there's this kind of balance, isn't it? Where for some of these guys, if they don't normally practice like that and prepare like that, and then for this event they are, you can make this event seem so big. And when we've been fortunate before to speak to some tour pros and we ask them, how do you treat majors? They always claim, and claim's the key word, to treat majors like any other event, and then they go into them because they don't want to put too much pressure on themselves. However, it's easier said than done, because I would be exactly the same as you today if I was playing. My clubs would be pristine. I'd be trying to be so prepped. I think it's just that balance of like relaxing or trying to. And I think the fact that we're filming it for you today in a weird way, I think might actually help you, because you'll also be thinking about the lads and the cameras and whatever. It might make you feel a bit more normal.
I'm quite jealous. One of the young lads I played with yesterday was out at 6:45 this morning, and I was kind of quite jealous in a lot of ways, really, because like first out, I mean, he's probably nearly finished by now. The wind is much less, and like he's not got any time to waste. Where today, because I'm teeing off at 12:50, it feels like a long time to kind of waste. I've been on 2 walks. Like I said, I've prepared all my little snacks and everything for today. I've got my drinks in the fridge ready to go. I just want to start well. If I can, I just want to be able to strike it good off the first few holes and go, right, okay, I can...
Settled in.
Yeah. And it's a nice opening hole. It's a little par 4 kind of round the corner to the left. And even in practice yesterday, it's like a 4-iron off the tee or a 3-iron, 4-iron off the tee. Hit a really nice one down there. So if I can just get a few good shots out of the way, settle the nerves. I'm guessing there's going to be a few people walking around. Obviously, we're making a YouTube video, which again, you're right. Like, I'm used to making a YouTube video, so I'm not too worried about that. And just feel like I've represented played the way I know I can play golf.
Yeah, well, I've been down to the golf club this morning already because a young lad who I know called Ben Caddick, he's only, I think, 16 off of like a scratch handicap. He's playing in it today. So I went down a little bit early to kind of watch him warm up and watch him off the first tee. And it does feel, I've been to Open Qualifying before, but it does feel maybe almost more professional than I thought it would, but in a good way. Like, there's obviously the car park, there's people who are walking around, there's quite a lot of cars parked up there. But I think for you, it will give you something to actually really focus on, because if we're in a normal break 75 and you're 7 over through 9 holes, it's quite easy to think, oh, the chance of breaking 75 is so slim now. But I think with it being that little bit more serious and competitive today, I feel like every shot you're going to take a bit more, maybe not even time, but more attention, more care. I think you can do all right.
It's like it is a YouTube video we're making, but it's also not a YouTube video because I'm not going to be going to the cameras every time. I'm not allowed to be mic'd up, so it's not like I'm going to every shot go, right guys, we're on the 7th, it's a par 4 around the corner, dog leg. Like, I won't be able to say any of that. So it'll be filmed from a distance with little snippets of sound bites, and I might do a voiceover after to kind of set the scene. I do feel quite chilled. I honestly am hitting it as good as I've hit it for a long time. My driver off the tee is phenomenal at the moment. Like, I'm really enjoying hitting that. My iron play has been very solid. My short game's definitely seen glimpses of promise and just real positivity. My putting, honestly, at the moment is probably my strongest part of my game. So it's just settling these nerves and making sure that I can actually hit the shots that I want to hit.
Well, you know what's interesting as well, and it sounds so obvious, but everybody playing today is nervous. And I didn't say anything bad when I was there, which is going to the horror stories for you, but you could definitely tell that watching people, how they were moving and shaking hands with the playing partners, everybody was a little bit nervous inevitably. And after a few holes, I'm sure for most people that just kind of melts away and you feel so much more relaxed. You're playing golf in the sunshine, but everyone is on, in the same boat. So I think there'll be people watching the video when it comes out who have played the event themselves, who will probably really respect you even more so because you have done it with the cameras and you're putting it out there. So many guys today will play who might shoot an 85, who thankfully can just almost put that to one side. Might be a handful of friends, might ask them how they get on, or a couple of members at the golf club might ask them how they get on. But in the grand scheme of things, nobody cares. You're putting yourself out there for literally hundreds of thousands of people. So I think I'd see that as a positive, that it's not pressure, it's more encouragement. People are going to be proud if you're doing it. It's a big ask. I think you've realistically breaking 75 would be phenomenal.
And honestly, on that course, I know I can do it. I know I can break 75 on that course. Then. So, I think I made 4 birdies yesterday. I say I wasn't keeping score, but I didn't have any bad holes. Yeah, I just played really solid. I don't know what I would have shot. I probably would have shot about 74, 75 yesterday if I was counting. I feel very prepared. I feel like I've practiced not 100% in the last few weeks, but as much as I could have done. And yeah, I'll see how it go. What was interesting though, so last night, we're going to talk about this anyway, there was the PJ Tour was on and also Liv was
Correct.
on. I watched as much golf as I could possibly watch last night from the best golf.
Tips.
Just trying to work out how did he do it under pressure. Because again, I know I can hit great shots if no one's watching or there's no pressure, but for those guys to be able to do it under that much pressure, it just baffles me. I mean, PJ Tour, Scottie Scheffler won his 6th tournament of the year.
He is so good.
I mean, that is scary good.
You know, on that, sometimes I think to myself, if someone asks me, doesn't really play golf, why is Scottie Scheffler so good? How is he so good? What does he do that's so special? My simple answer would be, when you watch him play golf, like, listen, it's a serious tournament, it's competitive and there's pressure, he just hits the right golf shot.
He delivers, doesn't he?
Every time, he just perfect. He's on the fairway, hits it close, how the holes are put or leaves it tapping distance away. Anything he needs to do, he does it. Yeah. And even on 18 in the playoff hole, he didn't hit the best approach shot, but then when you saw what Tom Kim did and he like chunked it, it makes you think, well, even under pressure, Scottie Scheffler's bad shot is just a slight green side miss with the putter, whereas Tom Kim was plugged in a bunker. That's just different, isn't it?
His bad shots are much, much better than most people's good shots.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And his phenomenal shots are just out of this world.
He is so good.
Just 6 wins. Obviously, it went to a playoff. Tom Kim, who's, I believe they're really good friends off the golf course as well. He's showing some great promise. I really fell in love with him after the Netflix show.
Me too.
Because I think he's such a great breath of fresh air. He's
22 years old.
It's mad, isn't it?
He's 22 years old.
And he just seems like he's got the full game. He's always playing golf with a smile. He held that great putt on the 72nd hole to get into the playoff.
Yeah, great
after
approach.
Nearly holing his approach shot.
It was funny, isn't it? Because as amateur golfers, a lot of us want backspin. That's like the cool thing. I got backspin. The backspin on that shot nearly cost him. He almost got it in the hole. It went like a foot away, if that, even closer, in fact. And then it spun back to like 8 to 10 foot.
And was I right in saying, was that when the oil protest kicked in?
So he hit the green. As they got on the green, they were about to they weren't quite about to putt, but they were kind of getting ready and looking at the lines. And then these guys and girls, I think they were, ran on and had the kind of almost like borderline flares / chalk. The police handled it well from what I could see. The kind of
quite a bit of rugby tackling going on.
Well, I suppose at the end of the day, you never know what
the players.
Exactly. I mean, it was pretty evident early on that they were protesters, and it was something to do with obviously climate change. But you never know what they could have on them, and they have to do that, I guess. But then
what I'm saying is that you have that delay, and you stood over that putt for so long.
It was insane. It was insane. And then obviously they recut the hole for the playoff hole to move it away from all the garbage. And then I think Tom Kim had 100. So Tom Kim went first. He went driver, I think. And then Scottie Scheffler hit 3-wood. Scottie Scheffler put onto the side of the green, wasn't brilliant, but it was fine. And then he had 111 yards and went with this really pumped up lob wedge. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to tell Tom Kim how to play golf, obviously. But it did seem like it was a big ask. It's quite a long way to hit a lob wedge at 110 yards.
And also it's going to spin like crazy.
Yeah.
So realistically, it's probably got to carry it 120 yards.
Exactly. And then he ended up he did it fat in the front trap. But it's how you look at it, because I would never dream of saying he bottled it, because on 18, the proper 18, he hit that such a good wedge shot and then hold the putt that he almost did enough, not quite enough. He will. I think he won twice already. I think on tour, he's going to win a lot more events.
It was interesting actually, because I was kind of staying in this barn last night, getting myself prepared, cleaning my golf clubs in the sink, kind of had my laptop on, watching a bit of sport. And actually, just because I didn't have on my laptop my Sky account, I just didn't have it. I ended up going on YouTube and watching Live.
Yeah,
and it was a funny week this week. It was only after I went on Instagram after and saw the highlights and stuff, I didn't massively know much news about the PJ event this week. I've actually deleted off my phone currently all my social media and stuff, just to try and block out any negative thoughts or messages. and it was quite easy to almost miss that there was a PJ Tour event on. I watched the highlights this morning, and that's why I know kind of obviously how Scottie got on. But I actually ended up tuning into quite a lot of Live. Tyrrell Hatton absolutely dominated it. Yeah. He won by 6 in the end.
You see that? You might not have seen it. If not, there's a viral clip of them saying about how he's been a lot calmer this week.
Yes, I've seen. I was watching it live. Yeah. He was literally had a putt, and I think it was David Ferris. He was like, he's been a lot calmer this week. Which, to be honest, the clips I had seen, he hadn't been all tournament really.
Yeah.
And then he hit this putt short, and he just absolutely unleashed on the F-bombs and this and that. And I've said it before, and I don't particularly like it. There's young fans watching. I think they need to be careful. I understand players swear and they get emotional and they're adults, but I just think when you've potentially got a young audience watching, I would hate to see a 12-year-old at the golf club this weekend miss a putt and start effing and jeffing. Do you know what I mean? And
I'd love to see that. Joking. No, I know, but yeah.
He ended up winning, dominating win. Again, I was watching him come down the stretch, and he had he didn't miss a shot. He literally, every shot he hit, he just nailed it. He actually played pretty well in the US Open from memory. He then goes on and wins this live event in Nashville, which is actually the most attended live event yet.
How many was there, did it say?
I think it was 40,000, or the most attended live event in the US.
Right. I say
because Adelaide is still beating that record at the moment. There was this weird rain delay for about half an hour on the final round when this literal monsoon came in. Wow. And they're all looking like they had wet t-shirt competitions, which some of them looked great, some of them didn't look particularly great. In the wet t-shirts, bless them, I wouldn't have looked great. And then he just dominated the last few holes, and then Legion 13 ended up winning the team. It was the first time again, not that I'm a supporter of any team, but it's the first time like you start looking at the leaderboard and that final day when everyone's score count, like the leaderboard really does switch around. Certainly, like Majestics haven't had a great season. They're trying to get on the podium, finish and all this.
Where did Sam Horsfield finish in the end?
He finished second.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He's only had a 10th in his best position before, I think.
It probably would be, yeah.
I'm sure that's what he said.
He had a second place solo second at 12
quid.
under. That would have cost, that would have been 12 or, I think, Tyrrell won by 7 in the end. Which is mad in 3 rounds of golf. Like, to win by 7 after 3 rounds of golf, that's quite a dominating win. Yeah, Sam Horsfield came second. I think John Rahm was third. Bryson was up there. Westwood had a great round.
Did he?
Yeah, 9 under. So yeah, it was really quite interesting.
Did you see, you might not have seen it if you've not been on social media, but you might have heard that Cameron Young had a 59.
I did.
And it's ironic because we talk a lot on the podcast about asterisks next to a round of golf. And if you had a hole in one, but the tee was moved or whatever, is it a real hole in one or if it's off a mat, etc. Cameron Young shot a 59. It was preferred lies. He only hit 6 fairways apparently, so the preferred lies didn't really affect him like in a positive way as such, but he still obviously was preferred lies. The picture of him holding up his scorecard that was taken by the PGA Tour, there's a big massive yellow sticker on it that says preferred lies are in play.
Ouch.
It's like the biggest asterisk you could ever believe ever. They've just ruined his picture, but it was preferred lies. So my question to you then, Rick, is does it count?
Well, I know preferred lies. If you set a course record, it's preferred lies, it doesn't count. So it can't really. It's not a...
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you win an event... So no one's going to look back at Scottie Scheffler and say, oh, he won on preferred lies. It's irrelevant because it's preferred lies for everybody, so he's just won the tournament. But I think you're right, when it is such an amazing score, it does feel a little bit... I feel bad for him.
The other thing, and again, it's a par 70 for the Travellers. It's quite a short course for them. It's like 6,700 yards or 6,800 yards. That's why the scores were so ridiculously low. Do you think a 59 carries as much weight as a par 70?
Oh, no, it doesn't carry as much weight, but I think it's almost, whenever you see like 59 watch trend or whatever, and it's inevitable it's always a 70, isn't it, really? Hence why they get so close to it so often, it feels like these days. But I think a true proper 59 is on a par 72. However, I wouldn't turn down a 59 on a par 70.
No.
So
to the front there.
What would you snap my hand off for a score today? So you're in Open Qualifying, obviously we've spoke about it already, clearly. What score would you, if I could give it you now and you'd shake my hand, would you absolutely take?
2 shots either side of 75.
Okay.
Somewhere between 73 and 77.
Yeah.
I genuinely, I want 77 to be my worst round of golf today.
Okay. Makes sense.
It might not be, but that's...
What par is it?
72.
So it's 5 over.
It's not long, 6,700 yards. There's par 5s that are very gettable. There's a couple of tough par 3s.
How far did you say? What length?
Like 6'7" or 6'8", I think.
From when I was there, obviously half an hour or so ago, the weather is lovely. I don't know what score. Is it 8? I think it's 6 people get through, 6 or 8.
You get told on the day, so
I'm
you probably
sure
know
it's
more
6.
than I will know.
I don't know what score we'll get through. Obviously, I have no idea. However, I wouldn't be surprised if there was at least one crazy low score because the weather just seems perfect. You just need one guy to rip it up.
The only defence, there's 2 defences the golf course got at the moment at Caldy. It's firm.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, everywhere's got really firm.
Yeah.
Because like even when we were there just a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't firm. Like you could get the ball to spin and stop on the green. Now, honestly, every shot you're needing to play it short.
Yeah, so bounce it on.
Yeah, and then the rough. Luckily, again, touch wood, yesterday, I honestly didn't find that much thick rough, but the thick rough is there.
What are those holes like near the water? Because I've not seen those yet.
Very nice. Very different.
Does it feel like you're on a links course more?
It's beautiful. It's
Wow.
actually really, really beautiful. The
Exciting.
scenery is spectacular. Yesterday when I did it on a practice round on Sunday, there was loads of like boats out in the, I want to kind of call it an estuary, but you know, you can actually look over the shoreline and see North Wales. Honestly, it's stunning. It's Rafa Benitez's house is up on the hill, apparently.
Is it?
I don't know if he still lives there. That's where he used to live.
Oh, fair dues.
It's absolutely gorgeous setting. And again, if you get it, if my driver, I'm just playing this little tiny fade at the moment and really hitting it lovely. If I could just get that working today, like I did yesterday, and just bounding down the fairway. It's like there was one drive on 16 yesterday. Do you remember the one with the stone that slanted?
Yeah, I do.
So I wasn't sure what to land that hole, so I thought I'm just going to hit driver and see what happens. it's a 407-yard hole, and I had 55 yards to the pin.
Wow.
So it's like 350, but it probably landed maybe 290 and just bounded and bounded and bounded and bounded. So you just got to, if the ball can land on fairway and stay on fairway, it goes for a million miles.
Does that change any of your plays into be more irons off tees, or is it still just bomb the driver?
Could be, but again, it depends on do you prefer, because the thing is for me, you can hit an iron if you chase it down there, but if you miss the fairway with an iron, then you're a long way out and you're in the rough.
Yeah, and it's annoying.
Yeah. So maybe just hitting driver.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a one-round shootout, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as much as some players who are very, very talented will probably be playing quite conservative today to get through, because they don't have to go and shoot 6 or 7 under to get through today. Where for someone like me, I have to probably play quite aggressive to shoot under par or level par.
Well, that's funny because obviously this weekend on Friday, the Justin Rose 10-shot challenge went out. If you've not seen that, I recommend people go and watch that video. Genuinely, it's fantastic. You played really well. Justin played really well. We won't ruin it for anybody that's not seen it yet. But Justin Rose shot a very, very deep under par round of golf. Again, go and watch the video. And I was just saying to somebody then that I was speaking to at the golf club about that video and about his round of golf, that he shot what is a stupidly low score. But yeah, when we were walking around him, it was quite like, I can't think of the words. It wasn't a boring round of golf because he holds some big putts, but it just felt like, it was just very kind of almost vanilla. Like
it was the easiest.
Well, let's just say the score, because he shot 7 under par.
Yeah, he shot 63.
And it was just, well, I think what baffled me is if you were playing at your local golf club with a scratch handicapper and it was the middle of summer and everything was perfect and they shot a 7 under par, to witness that, it would always be like, you'd remember it forever. It'd be like, oh my word, he did this, he chipped in here, he did that, or did this. Justin Rose shot 7 under and it was just like a round of golf. It was just easy. It was bizarre.
And he had a bogey.
Yeah.
He had a bogey, 1 eagle, and 6 birdies.
The levels, this is what baffles me. I spoke about this many, many times, and we'll do it many, many times again, I'm sure. But the levels to golf, there'll be some guys here today playing who are absolutely brilliant at golf. But what's crazy is they're trying to enter Open Qualifying, and so a lot of them won't even get through the first stage, never mind the second stage. And the ones that get through the second stage might not even make the cut at the Open, probably won't, if we're being totally honest. And you think about, there's all these different levels to the pyramid, that how good, again, obviously, your Scottie Scheffler actually is. The difference is...
You know what I'd love to be able to do? At every regional qualifying event today, there's a top 10 player in the world playing in it.
Yeah. There's a guinea pig that you can see. They're like the what's it called in running? The pacer.
Yeah. Yeah. If Scottie Scheffler played today, he'll shoot 7 under, 8 under.
Oh, yeah.
And it wouldn't even look like a stressful round where... Again, I might be speaking out of turn. No one's going to shoot that today. And if they do, like you say, it'll be their career best round of golf ever.
I know sometimes you still see it on social media a little bit, but I wish that tour pros had handicaps, because that's the thing with golf. You can kind of, if you're off a 4 handicap and your friend's off +2, or you meet someone off +2, should I say, you can kind of work out, well, yeah, they're better than me by 6 shots or whatever. And certainly with the world handicap system, where it's meant to be a lot more even across the world, if they actually had handicaps, and you could see that they were off +12. I think that'd put it more into perspective how good they are.
Well, I'm sure a Grant Horvath film with John Rahm a couple of weeks ago, and at the start of that video, I'm sure John Rahm was saying he's off +7 at the golf club that we're playing at.
Yeah.
But I mean, it might even be lower than that.
But imagine him then at the Parkland course that most people watching listening members are, what he'd be off.
I mean, they'd never shoot worse than 5 under par.
I think that's the only annoying thing with golf, that if you're into your athletics, for example, and you can run a 5K or 5,000 metres in 24 minutes, and the guys at world level are 13 or 12 or whatever it is, you can comprehend that. And yes, things are different. They might have slightly, but it's basically the same.
Yeah, of course.
But in golf, it's you can't compare yourself, because the courses they play, yes, you can go and play them, but very rarely off those same tees in the same conditions with the same green speeds and the same level of rough, etc.
Same pin positions. They don't make tour events, don't make golf courses easy.
No.
They make it really, really hard. And yet these guys still shoot those outrageous scores.
We've said it before, we'll say it again. The PGA Tour or LIV, it'd be a good thing for LIV to do actually, need to have a group of just average golfers, or put a scratch guy, a 10 handicap guy, a 24, whatever it might be, and let them play the event just before or whatever, the tour pros.
You know what I like that idea, but I also like this idea that you could almost AI it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, with a scratch golf, let's say you did that and you had a scratch golf for 10 handicap or 18 handicap or whatever, they're going to be so nervous playing that golf.
That's true.
So that is going to amplify their score massively already. I would love it if you could almost go, right, well, the average 18 handicapper hits it this far with this much curvature.
You could do that, I bet.
Well, straight away, out of 4 holes, they're going to hit. They can't even clear it onto the fairway, for argument's sake. True. So it'd be great to kind of almost simulate that and almost put a simulation out and to go, an 18 handicapper around this golf course statistically would shoot 120, for argument's sake.
That's a good point. You could just invent something there. That could be your...
So I think it would be... I just... With the person way of doing it, I just think that their own game would suffer too much.
True.
It's like if it wouldn't be a fair comparison putting an 18 handicapper in this today, would it? Because playing with a crowd and playing... Because
that's the other thing. Then about you being on that one. There is one. I'll have to bleep that. Sorry, Matt.
I think it would be an interesting way of seeing it.
Speaking of interesting, we last week went to Woburn to the Titleist Performance Institute, or whatever it's called, centre, and we saw the new Titleist GT drivers. We learned all the spiel about them, which we can't really touch on yet because it's under embargo. A lot going on though. Surprisingly, a lot going on. Yeah,
Titleist are known for making very small changes with their technology, and they always are after it always looking like a Titleist driver. Like they want their Titleist fan base and their Titleist tour players to put a driver behind the ball and see a familiar shape, a familiar colour scheme. Like, you're never going to see a white driver from Titleist or a bright red one or anything. It's always going to have that same look. But what they've really tried to push on this year is, yes, you've got the look, which is identical to existing Titleist drivers, everything else internally has completely changed.
Yeah.
It's a huge technology story for Titleist this year, more than I've known ever. But I think it might get overlooked because it still looks the same as a Titleist driver.
That's the thing. We obviously tried it. You hit some, I hit some, and there was...
You were getting some good ball speed.
I really did gain. And it sounds silly. I gained quite a lot, being honest with you. And I almost don't like that sometimes because it starts to feel like that was almost a weird too much amount. Like, it was questionable amount, but I think it just worked for me. However, like you said, it's that thing of how do Titleists sell that to people? How do they explain that story that this looks the same but it's so different? That's quite difficult to do. And also, the only thing I would say for me is I gained ball speed, no doubt, but that's all well and good in a range or on a launch monitor when you can see the numbers and it's great. Like, for me, the way I hit my drive, I just want to be able to hit the ball and keep it on the planet.
To be fair, the fitter who was really good actually said that to you.
Yeah.
It's all well and good. He would prefer to see it out on a golf course as well. And as much as the Titleist Performance Centre feels like a fairway and there's no consequence.
No, exactly.
If you hit a bad one, you just got another golf ball ready to go. But the whole facility is amazing. We filmed a small video that we'll be releasing on the Hit channel as well that kind of showcases that facility. And we're going to, if people enjoy those type of videos, we'll make more of them at different locations, whether that's the Ping Factory, HQ, whether it's Callaway or TaylorMade. They've all got these facilities.
I think that's something I was going to say the word scared. We weren't scared of. We were always conscious of that, your Hit channel and you're completely unbiased. You, obviously, as everybody knows, you're not sponsored by any club or ball brands, never have been. And if you start doing a video with Titleist, does that look biased? I think that the audience are educated enough, watched enough of your videos to understand, and you've been transparent enough to say that's not the case. We just thought we'd try something different for the Hit channel. And like you said, I'd be excited to go and see what other companies do. I know that Titleist charge £500 of fitting at that studio, and that £500 doesn't come off your clubs. If you buy a set that's £1,200, there's still £1,200 plus the 500 on top. Bizarrely though, and a lot of people listening will think that's ridiculous, I don't mind it. When you go to that facility and see what it's like and the service you would get and literally that Tour Pro experience, it's obviously not for everybody. It's for that real hardcore, either Titleist fan or hardcore golfer who wants the best of the best and wants that experience. And we've said before, like, how people think golf's getting so expensive, and in some ways it is. But things like that, what people can run away with and say, oh, Titleist are now charging £500 for fitting, golf's getting silly. But it's not that everywhere's £500. It's just if you want the absolute pinnacle, that's the price it is. I don't know if I would pay it personally because I don't probably play enough golf to justify it, but I can imagine there is guys and girls who are great players who just want to have that fit in.
There'll be guys who are great players and guys who are not great players.
Well, exactly, yeah.
I don't think it almost matters about the level of your golf. It's more the fact of whether you want that experience.
Yeah.
And it is pricey, it really is. And like I say, I've said it on the podcast before, I think fittings you should pay for, albeit just to cover the fitting cost, because I think then you get the best result for you.
Yeah.
Because they're not then incentivized to sell your product just because it might be a little bit better for you.
Yeah.
I like a perfect fitting for me is you've paid the fitter and you've gone, thank you so much. That's for your service. Fit me. And they might turn around and go, you know what? Your driver that you currently got is the best driver for you. Great. Like that's a quality fitting in my opinion. It's hard when you don't pay for a fitting because how does the fitter or the company make money? Well, they've then got to sell your product.
That's true. I think something like that as well. If it was like a big birthday, it was your 40th or your 50th, whatever, and you're looking at getting a set of clubs that you quite literally want to last you for the next 10 years, over 10 years, the £500 you're going to pay is irrelevant, really. So to have that once in a lifetime would be cool, but it's good to see brands doing different things. I'm excited to see that driver in the wild. I'm not sure of you.
August time?
August, I believe, yeah.
I could see you putting that in the bag straight away.
Potentially.
But who knows?
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Right. Should we go and try and play some golf?
Yeah. I don't think I will shoot worse than level par today. I'll hit every green, 2 putt.
Well, I'm teeing off in 2 hours.
Well, we are going to do a clubhouse episode either later on today or maybe we're up in Scotland for a couple of days as well. With obviously all the guys, all the camera guys, we might do on there depending on how today goes or whatever.
We're off to Royal Troon, got some exciting videos coming up. I'm actually playing golf with Sandy Lyle. You've got an apology to give him as well.
I'm not going to be there.
You should be more nervous about me and Sandy Lyle.
All I've ever said. Let me practice what I'm going to say to Sandy Lyle now then. So
set the scene.
You be Sandy Lyle. Basically, I've said before many times that Sandy Lyle should have stopped playing in the Masters because yes, he won it, and yes, you get a lifetime exemption. No, I've already planned it out, but I think time was time. So if you want to be Sandy and call me out on it, I've got my comeback already planned.
First off, he's a lot taller than you think he's going to be. Okay.
Right.
Like when I met him a couple of years ago, I was like looking up at him. So he's about 6'2". Okay.
Well, we'll sit down then.
And hi, and he's a big fan of the channel, by the way.
Great.
So he watches videos. He loves reviews. He loves reviews of products. He's told me this in the past. Hates the podcast though.
Of course he does.
Can't stand you on the podcast.
Of course he does.
Oh, hi. I'm Sandy. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Mr. Lyle. Lovely to meet you.
Oh wow, that's very pleasant. What's this saying about the Masters? I shouldn't be playing in it.
Look, Mr. Lyle, it was nothing personal. I massively respect you, and let's be honest, let's be frank, you're a better golfer than I'll ever be. You've got more talent in that little finger and that little toe than I'll ever have.
Correct.
What it was is, as a golfer and golf being my sport, I like to see it in a positive light. And obviously the Masters is arguably the biggest tournament in golf. And, lots of people out there who aren't real golf fans still turn to the Masters for entertainment because it's one of the best in sporting events in the world. My only issue is past champions and green jacket winners like yourself playing in the event at a competitive level is, I just don't know if it puts our sport in the best light. I think you should be there for the Champions Dinner, absolutely. And I love seeing the par 3 tournaments with family and friends in the bag. You've earned that to be there. However, I just feel like come Thursday morning, you should be a patron walking around the grounds in that green jacket and meeting your fans and followers, but maybe leaving the golf to the guys that can still win.
Fair dues.
Thanks, Mr. Lyle. Done. Do you reckon he'll accept that?
Yeah, I think that was pretty good, that, mate. I like that. I think you've nailed that.
The reality, I go, I didn't say it. It wasn't me. It was Rick.
Yeah, I think you've nailed that. But to be fair, though, I think you only did one more year and then he did retire.
Well, he listened to me. That's what I like about him. He listens to people, Sandy.
Or maybe you could say that to him. I'm glad you listened to me.
Yeah.
I'm glad you took the hint. So that'll be a really cool video coming to the One Club app. So if you want to download that and make sure you check it out, we've got some great content out on there. And then we're going to be doing a break 75 at Royal Troon.
I've got one
Robbo's joining us, by the way.
Oh, is he coming?
Yeah.
So what's the plan?
So we can do a 70, 75 and 80.
How's he getting there? When's he
He's
coming?
just going to drive up Wednesday.
Great. Brilliant. Last question then. What's your outfit for today? Because obviously at the minute you're in your casual clothes. What are you going to wear?
I was tempted to, when you see players turn up to the golf clubs in the sportswear and
Hat on backwards, yeah.
They get changed in the change.
You know what would happen though? You'd do that, you'd feel you're dead cool. You'd walk in, hat on backwards, holding your clothes, and you'd trip up on the way in.
I don't know what I'm expecting when I get there. I'm not going to wear shorts.
Okay.
Because I don't...
You're not a golfer when you wear shorts, you personally.
No.
That's more of a quick 9.
It is. And I like the shorts, t-shirt out. Like that is probably when I'm playing nice and relaxed. But black trousers, albeit it's a really sunny day, it might be a mistake, but black trousers. But I think if I wore white, that'd also be a mistake.
Yeah.
And then just a really nice, simple pinstripe grey t-shirt.
Lovely.
And a white hat. I'm actually going to wear my Rossapenna hat.
Oh, okay.
Because I played really well at Rossapenna.
There you go.
So if I can take those vibes, I'll be happy with that.
Great.
So every time I'm struggling, I've also marked my golf balls, okay? Put a line on them, ready, and put a little smiley face on every golf ball.
So you remember to smile.
To remind myself to smile. And then stay in the present, one shot at a time, don't get too far ahead of myself, and go and rip it up. And if it doesn't go to plan, I'm sorry, everyone. I tried my best. Hopefully it does, though. Hopefully I shoot a good score, whether I qualify or not.
What's more convincing? My apology to Sandy Lyle or your pre-match thoughts?
Like I say, I keep going in these ebbs and flows. At the moment, I'm fairly chilled, but I know as I'm getting closer and closer, and as I arrive to the clubhouse, I think I'm like, oh my God, it's go time. Fine. I just hope no one's turned up and watched.
Well, there's definitely people there. I don't know if people are there for you.
I hope they're not. But then, if
you know, you say you've not been on social media.
Yeah.
You've not seen the tweets we've done in the posts on your account saying, "Please come and watch me." Everyone that comes, I'm going to give you a dozen Pro Vs.
You get a £50 note. I think I'm going to use, if I do get quite a big following, I'm going to use it as 2 things.
Ball spotters.
One a compliment. Sorry. One a compliment and 2 a ball spotters.
There you go.
If no one turns up, I think I'll be really panicking. So I'll be like, oh,
I'll be fine.
But if loads of people, I don't know what the sweet spot is.
The sweet spot is none or low, so you don't want 3.
No. And I'm not having a caddy.
No.
I'm going to go solo. Because then I don't want to drag anyone else down with me.
Oh, Christ. That's
If I go down, I'm going down on my own. No, I just think I'm just going to stay in my own zone.
Was it the 13th tee that was near the clubhouse? 12th. So people might join you after work. Oh, no, it won't be after work, will it? I was thinking it would be later than that. But you might get some more people following you then who've played. I saw Mason Page before. He said he might come round after he's finished.
Been in the video before. Great. Well, let's go and rip it up. Thanks everyone for your support. Thanks for watching. We'll let you know how we get on. Make sure you stay tuned to social media. I probably won't be on social media for the foreseeable future. I'm sure someone will post it on my behalf of what I shoot. I think there's live scores out there as well, so you can check out the Open and go and qualify and check out the live scores.
By the way, if you have played well, everybody will know about this.
Everyone. I'll be back on social media.
I'll be a cigar in his mouth and 3 different phones scrolling.
Shot 79, everybody. Right, guys. Thanks, everyone. Stay tuned. I'll let you know how I get on, and hopefully I can
play well, Rick.
I've got sweaty pants.
It's all right. Oh, the crash they have.
Thanks, everyone.